Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Working Title Podcast with Zachary Scott King. Today we have a very special guest, the one, the only, Elizabeth Salazar. Welcome, Elizabeth. Hello. How are we feeling?
Hello.
2 cheers. Just like I did with Eric.
Thank you.
2 cheers. Welcome to the pod, man.
Thank you. I was going to call you out because you said Eric was a beautiful, beautiful man. So I was expecting the same treatment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beautiful Elizabeth Salazar. Here's the cheers for the one, the beautiful Elizabeth. We are live. We are back on the Working Title Podcast. We are recording today is April 30th, but tomorrow when this episode comes out, it will be May Day, the 1st of May. So happy May Day to everybody listening. And again, I said this on the last episode that we did with Eric. My little setup here at Studio Zach has sometimes is giving me audio technical difficulties. If that happens during this episode, I am going to record it on my iPhone. But so far, so good. Knock on wood. And we are live. So, Elizabeth, how are you?
Good. I'm very excited to be here. A bit nervous. This is my first podcast, so hey.
There's a cheers for the first podcast. First podcast. You couldn't have picked a better pod to come on as your first. I'm so happy that you're on here. We've been very good friends ever since I've started at Stella. You're a wonderful actor. You mean so much to me and to so many people. Let's just dive into it for the listeners. Why don't we start a little bit of background on you. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? How long have you been in LA? Go.
Well, first of all, thank you for that beautiful introduction.
Of course.
You do mean a lot to me and everybody else at Stella. I found very good friends there. And so thank you so much for that. So I grew up in Mexico.
Okay.
And that's where I actually found acting. My first acting gig was actually in a play, and I was about 7 years old, and it was in Spanish. Obviously, it was in Mexico, and it was the best experience of my life. At 7 years old, I am given the script. I obviously just memorize it, block it, and once it's time to put it up, my parents take me to the place, and it's exhilarating to be there. And I know that I know my lines, so that's all I needed, right? So then my scene partner cues me in, because she's the one that starts on stage. So she cues me in, I come in, and the minute I look at the audience, it's blank up here. Nothing, no line. Oh. Who am I? What am I saying? I have no clue. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so nervous. And I look at everyone. And I mean, to a 7-year-old, obviously, like 100 people looks like 1,000, right?
Oh, yeah.
It seems like 1,000 people. So to me, it seemed like 1,000 people. It was probably like less than 100. And so I look at them and I just panic.
Yeah.
And I start giggling because that's what I do when I'm nervous. So that's why I'm giggling right now as well.
No, you're doing fine.
So I giggled. And the minute I giggled, everyone in the audience started giggling. And then giggle turned into laughter. And everybody starts laughing. And I just look at them and I feel so much joy that they're laughing, not because it seems like it's in a mean way or whatnot, because it doesn't. It almost feels like they're saying, dang, at least I'm not that girl up there, you know?
Yeah. It's a lonely place to be up on stage when there's lights on, nobody's home, like up in terms of your brain, that can be quite scary.
Exactly. And so you can imagine. I just look at them, and that just brings me joy, looking at everybody laughing and giggling.
Yeah.
And that was the moment. I was a goner after that. I just became so in love with it.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, it was the idea of just being on stage, being someone else, and making people laugh or just making people feel
Mm.
something,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I fell in love with that with the audience. After that, kid you not, the words came one after the other. Boom,
Wow.
boom, boom, boom. And it was just magical and I loved it. I know it sounds so pretentious.
No, not at all, dude. It's it the I think the entire goal for all of us as actors is to invoke emotion one way or the other, like make you feel something. That's like kind of the whole point, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And after that, I told my mom that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be when I grow up. I just want to be that for everyone. I want to be that for people. I want people to just feel happy or sad or just have a reaction and forget about their daily lives, you know?
Yeah.
And, and so, anyways, after that, a year later, we moved to Texas. And that's where I was actually born. And so then I was raised there in Texas. And
So you were born in Texas, then
mhm,
moved to Mexico, then moved back to
correct.
Texas.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. My mom wanted to be close to her family. And
Yeah.
so hence us moving. And then my mom quickly realized, what was the whole reason of having her be born in Texas if we're going to be living in Mexico?
Gotcha.
And so we moved to Texas, which, by the way, was amazing too. I was so happy to learn a new language. I remember that the only things I could say was yes, no, American citizen.
Yeah, I mean those are important ones to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And so to me, it was so fun to move and learn and just finally understand what English was all about. And it was just exciting. And I love my time in Texas. I love growing up there. It was great. I mean, 90% of the population there is Hispanic.
Yeah.
And so it was very welcoming, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you lived in Texas the whole time until you moved to LA? So
Correct.
you went Texas, Mexico, Texas, Los Angeles.
Correct. Yes. And so before moving to LA, I was living in a little town called Brownsville, Texas. It's a border town. That's where I actually met Eric. And
Shout out Eric. Last episode of the pod.
I could never live up to his episode, okay? I'm just going to put it out there. Okay, you guys, I'm so sorry. This isn't Eric today. This is Liz.
No, the audience wants Liz. The audience already forgot about Eric. Give us Liz.
Yeah, and so anyway, so I met Eric at the courthouse, and when I met him, we were just coworkers. Then we became friends. I mean, we were coworkers. We became acquaintances. Then became friends, and then eventually we started dating. And one of the things he told me, which I will never forget, was he said, "If you don't say yes to me right now, 20 years down the line, you're going to look back at this moment and you're going to think about what would my life be if I had said yes to this guy."
Wow. Dang. hitting you with the existentialism.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
He's pretty dramatic and that's why I love him.
Wow. So
Yeah,
right off the bat, just
right,
hits you with the
right.
shoulda, woulda,
Exactly.
couldas.
Exactly. And how can I say no to that, right? I did, though. I did say, no, you know what? I feel like we're so different. We're polar opposites. I feel like I'm water and you're oil, or the other way around, and we
Yeah.
just don't mix.
Wow.
We just don't mix. And he just laughed it off, and being Eric, he made a joke about it, and
Yeah.
he's like, well, do you really want to wait 20 years and think about this, or do you just want to say yes? I know you like me anyway, he said.
I like that, Eric. We got Eric in the studio with us off mic. I like your style, man. Just going 100 miles an hour, a sprinter. That's great.
The ladies, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So how can you say no to that,
Yeah, come
right?
on, man.
Yeah. But I just fell in love with him and his goals and his dreams. He had huge dreams of moving to LA and being this big shot director. And I just love watching him and listening to him and thinking, oh my gosh, I want to make all those dreams come true.
Mm,
You know, I want to be there and I
that's
want
so
to help
cool.
him do that. And in doing so, funny thing, he did the same for me. And so I feel like that's why we've been together for so long.
Yeah, that's great. What
Yeah.
a power couple.
Thank you.
It's so cool that you guys like can chase your dreams together. I feel like that is such a blessing.
Absolutely.
Like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I mean, I couldn't be here without him asking me that question, right?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And anyways, we started dating and we dated for a year. And the reason I bring it up is because within that year, he was saving money to move out here to LA. And I was there like 100%. I was like, yeah, absolutely. You're going to do this. Don't worry. We'll go 50-50 on dates. You know,
Mm,
that's fine. At that time, he didn't have a car. And I was like, I'll drive. I don't care.
mm,
Like, I'm not in this for anything other than, being together,
yeah.
being partners, equal. And so, yeah, so that's how it took off, and it was great. Loved it. Loved every second of it. We were so young and dumb, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why it also worked. Worked. But then he moved out, and
It's
I
the
was
year he left for LA.
yes
So
to
he moves to
LA.
LA. You're still in
Yes,
Texas.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm still in Texas, and I tell him, you know what? I don't want to hold you back. I want you to go and live the full experience. I feel like it's best if we just part ways.
Wow.
hmm And so I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna meet a beautiful woman over there and fall in love. And I don't want to keep you from that, thinking,
Wow.
oh my God, I have Liz back home. So I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's good. It's all good. We'll stay friends. Fuck it.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I was full of shit, right? Because
I think I just hit the canned laughter button, but it didn't work. There it goes. You got a delayed laugh on that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I
So you're
was a
full of
wreck.
shit.
Yeah, I was full of shit. I was a wreck. I went into a complete full depression,
Yeah.
but I also didn't want to keep him from following his dreams. And so he moves out here. He calls me. He tells me, "Hey, I made it over here and I want to go back." And I tell him, "Fuck no, you're coming back.
Mm.
No. You made it out of here. There's a there's lots of people here in the valley. That's what we call it. Brownsville, Texas, we call it the valley. Brownsville, Harlingen, all those little towns. And so I
Excuse me.
tell him, no, fuck no, you made it out of here.
Mm.
You're finally there. Go after your dreams.
Yeah.
Don't come back. You saved up money to be out there. Fuck
Mm.
it. Wait till the money runs out. And even then, try and stay over there.
Yeah.
There's nothing for you here. I mean, yeah, your mom is here and I'm here and we both love you, but we're going to support you at the end of the day. And this is what you want to do. So go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. And so then I thought to myself, so I was in school at that point. I was at university. I was working at the courthouse. And so I had just changed my my career pathway, I guess. I moved from being in criminal justice and law enforcement to education because I found happiness in that. Before I used to think, you know what, I want to help people that need that help. And maybe that could be through criminal justice, helping them. And once I was working at the courthouse, I realized, you know what? What if I help them before they get to that point,
Mm.
you know? And so I thought about that, and I had given up on my dreams of becoming, an actor, because I come from a very traditional Mexican family, and I love my parents. I love my family. And my mom just said it wasn't something that could happen for me,
Yeah.
right? Not because she was mean or anything. It was just she didn't want me to struggle. And at that time, I didn't understand it. I mean, I was 17 or 16 when I told her, this is what I want to be. This
Yeah.
is what I want to do. I was doing theater arts back in high school. So I was like, this is what I want, Mom.
Yeah.
This is my dream, And my mom just laughed it off and told me, that doesn't happen for people that look like you and come from this place.
Wow.
Yeah. And to me, that was just heartbreaking to hear that from my mom, the person that's supposed to tell you you can go after your dreams. It doesn't matter. You go after them, work hard. It's going to be difficult, which is what I needed to hear. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Go for it. Who cares? Later, I realized why she said that. She was trying to protect me. Um, she just didn't want me to try and put my heart in it and then fail and then come back with a heart broken. And so at that time, I didn't get it. And so at that time, she just said, you know what? You need to focus on going to school, go to university, get a bachelor's, get a job, a decent job, get married, and that's it. You'll be a mother. That's it. And so, yes, I focused in school, hence me, looking into criminal justice and law enforcement, hence me working at the courthouse, me meeting Eric at the courthouse and seeing this. And I guess when I saw him full of dreams, I thought of myself in him. And I said, you know what? You go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, I guess what I wish someone said to me, I said to him.
Yeah.
And so when I saw him and his big dreams,
shoot for the stars.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
Who's going to stop you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's not in the cards for you, it's fine. You tried it,
Yeah, and also, though, like the saying, like, if you shoot for the stars and you don't make it, a lot of times at least you're still in the clouds, right?
That's right. That's
so
right.
you're still in a position that you would never have dreamt.
Right.
Even like if I don't know. Continue. Sorry.
You're good. You're
good.
good.
This is my show. No, I'm just kidding. Go. Continue.
We're in the pod with Sag King.
People are here for me. No, they're here for you. They're here for you. Keep going. This is beautiful.
And so when I saw that, I said, "Fuck it, go for it. I just want you to go for it and shoot, like you said, shoot for the stars. And what's the worst that can happen? You land in the sky. That's fine.
Right.
That's
You're
fucking
in the sky.
fine. Yeah.
Right.
Fuck it.
You're in the clouds.
Yeah, exactly. And so, anyways, he leaves, and so I had changed my career pathway into pedagogy, early childhood development, and I was, looking into becoming a teacher. And so I did. I focused all my energy in becoming a teacher. And I thought, if I'm going to become a teacher in Texas, I want to become a teacher. I want my first job to be in the capital, right? Austin. Like, if I land a job there, the minute I get my degree, I can find a job anywhere in Texas.
Yeah.
And so I come home, I tell my parents, I want to move out of the valley. I want to move to Austin, which is 6 hours away, mind you, from my hometown. And my mom and my dad freak out. Like, my dad totally flips out. He's like, "What do you mean?" Again, traditional, right? He's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean you're gonna move away? What do you mean? You should only move away from home once you get married, And so he tells me, all these expectations that were brought up with, and so he tells me, "No, you're supposed to get married, then move out of my house, And I tell him, "Dad, I love you, and I love my mom, and I'm very grateful for the life you've provided for me. But now it's time for me to move, move out, move away, find myself, be my own person." And so he suggested, okay, fine. If you need to move away, it's fine. Find a job here. I know you can find a job here. Mind you, at that time, there weren't any teaching jobs there in Brownsville.
What is the size of Brownsville?
I mean, it's not that big. I
Yeah,
want to
like
say you can cross it within like 20 minutes.
okay, wow.
It's
So
not that
little
big.
town,
Yeah, it's a
little.
little town,
Yeah.
but it is like it's a big population anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's big in population, small in, geography.
Gotcha.
But anyways, and so he says, I'm pretty sure you can find a job. And yes, I had a job already. One of the teachers, or no, a principal in a school had already offered me the job, even though they didn't have any job openings. He had already offered me the job because, he knew me and he knew my parents.
Yeah.
And I said, no. I said, thank you so much, but that's not where I want to go. I mean, I saw Eric moving out and following his dream, and I thought, you know what? I mean, good for him.
Yeah.
He made it out of here. You
Yeah.
know, usually people that live in that small town, they're born there, they live there, they die there.
It happens a lot in my hometown too.
Mm-hmm. And so I was so proud of him. I was so happy for him. He made it out. That's how I called. That's how I would say it. I'm like, you made it out.
Yeah. No, that's for real though.
Yeah. And so finally, I mean, I told my parents, you know what, I'm just doing this for me. This is for me.
Yeah.
And I did. I got a job. I actually got three job offers, one in Brownsville, one in Houston, and one in Austin. And I'm like, that's the one I want.
Yeah, Austin, Texas.
Austin,
cool city.
Texas. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Keep Austin weird.
Yeah, Austin's a cool city.
It's a cool city. Yeah, I have some of my best friends living there still.
Yeah.
I love them. And so yeah, so I moved to Austin, Texas, and I mean, at this point when I moved, Eric had gotten the job that he wanted, his dream job, and he asked me to go back with him. He said something super sweet. He said, I got everything I ever wanted. I got to live in the city that I wanted to live in. I got the job of my dreams, but I don't have you.
Oh, that's it.
And he said something super sweet. He said, if you say yes to going back with me, like in this relationship, long distance relationship, mind you, he said, if you want me, I will be willing to move back here to the valley and have a life with you, if it meant that I would have it with you.
Wow. Jeez, this
Dude,
guy,
this
Eric,
guy and his lines. Come on.
Jeez.
What? Come on now.
What chance do you have?
What chance did I have, dude? Anyways, so I said, hell no, you made it out. You can stay over there. We can try this relationship, miles away. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Who cares? And so we did. And so I was teaching in Austin. I love my job. I taught there for 3 years. And I love being a teacher. I love working with kids. I love just everything about it. But there was something still missing.
Yeah.
Right. And one day I'm giving a speech, as teachers always do, right? And I'm invited to do a speech to my graduating class. Okay. So it's 5th graders going to middle school.
Cute.
Right. And I'm in front of my 100 students. And I tell them, you guys can go after your dreams. Go and do whatever you wish. You can make it happen. I believe in you. And anything is possible. After I said that, I realized that I wasn't living my dream.
Wow.
And I felt like a hypocrite. And I felt, how can they believe me when I tell them go after your dreams if I'm not living mine?
Wow, that is so powerful, man.
And thank you. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to go after my dreams.
Wow.
I'm gonna do it not only for me, but for them, to show them that it is true, that I'm not full of shit saying, yeah, go after your dreams, buddy. You can do it. No.
Right. Like, do as I say, not as I do. That type of
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, that's so powerful.
Exactly.
That's a testament to your character, too.
Thank you.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And so I decided, that's it. So I quit my job. I moved to LA. I get married to Eric. And
did you guys get married out here?
No, we actually got married back in our hometown.
Oh, wow, that's cute.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It was a small wedding. I loved it. It was just me and him. And I know how people tend to say that they have cold feet. I can't speak for Eric, but I can speak for me. And I can tell you that I didn't have cold feet at all.
Yeah.
Even if, I was running like 30 minutes late to the wedding.
Were you?
I was. But I wasn't being dramatic. It was just my makeup was taking time and my hair. And so Eric calls me. He's like, where are you? I'm getting ready, but I'm coming.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah, it was beautiful. And then we went, we had our honeymoon in Alaska, which was amazing. And I moved out here. And when I moved out here, it was in the middle of him saying, hey, I want to do my first short. Or no, I want to do my first movie.
Yeah.
A feature. And I thought, oh my God, how do I tell this guy that that's not possible, right? I didn't want to clip his wings, you know what I mean? I wanted to be there for him and tell him, yeah, we can do it. We can fucking do it. Let's go. You want to do that? Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
And so I did tell him, I was realistic with him. I told him, you know what? I mean, how about we wait after our first year of marriage and then we do it? I mean, I feel like that's doable. But doing it within our first few months of being married, I feel like that is a lot to ask, right?
And you're fresh in LA at this point, right?
And I'm fresh in LA,
like
correct.
A few months?
Like a month in. Yeah.
So you're fresh off.
Yeah.
And
he throws me this curveball.
Wow.
Right? And who am I to tell him no, right? And I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it. I love the guy. I'm not going to say no.
I love the guy too.
Yeah. We love the guy.
We love that guy. I love that guy.
Yes, exactly. How can we not? Shout out to Eric.
Shout out to Eric. He is live with us in the studio today.
He is. And so, anyways, I told him, well, it's going to be difficult, but we can do this. And so I start planning and I start doing my producer, job. And I tell him, you know what? It's looking like like it can't happen.
Hate to break it to you.
Hate to break it to you, pal, but oh my God. And then he said something super funny. He then said this to me, and he'll tell you all about it whenever he comes back to the pod, because I know he's coming back to the pod.
Yeah, for sure.
He says, babe, Liz, I can do this. Okay? He's like, stick to teaching. Oh!
Whoa.
Shots were fired.
Shots were fired.
And I said, you know what? I love this man. I married this man. He's crazy, and he wants to do this. Fuck it, let's fucking do this.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just smiled. I didn't even argue. At that point, I didn't argue. I just smiled, and I'm like, let's watch this shit show.
I think Eric left out that little comment in the first pod I did with him, but maybe we'll revisit that.
But how can you say no to him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just, for the thrill of it, I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's do it. Maybe he's right. Fuck it. maybe, you know, what do they say? There has to be a percentage of stupidity and a percentage of bravery to make something happen.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
And so the stupidity was way off the charts from my part. For my part, I can't speak for him, right? Because I was like, fuck it, we'll do it, you know? And, and yeah, we did it. And I mean, it was an amazing experience. It was a learning experience. I mean, I saw every aspect of it. Like Eric mentioned, it was just me and him, literally me and him.
Yeah.
That was the crew. We had family and friends help out. Family and friends come in as extras.
Yeah.
You know, family and friends cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a huge support from our family, and we had this huge support from our family and friends, and I'm very grateful to them. And so, I mean, we did it. Was it everything that we hoped for? No, but hey, you live and you learn.
How did you? So when we were discussing the film with the episode with Eric,
Yeah.
he told us that you were the one in it that said, "This isn't a 90-minute movie. This is a 30-minute movie."
Yeah.
What? So I'm just curious. When you made that decision, what was it? Were you like looking at the dailies or like you're looking at your footage and you just, I mean, because that's brilliant from your end. That's brilliant to be like, hey, there's good stuff in here. Maybe not necessarily 90 minutes of stuff, but there's definitely 30 minutes of good stuff. I've seen it and it is good. Like how did that thought process come about?
So he showed me the first cut, and in the first cut, he had, I mean, everything in the timeline. And some shots didn't work just because it wasn't lit well. Some shots didn't work because of the blocking. Some shots didn't work because of maybe the audio. I mean, there were different elements to it that it was just not working. And so I told him, just do what you do best and edit the shit out of it,
Yeah.
and we can make this happen. You know, you are great at that. You're a great storyteller. You just have to condense it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But I did tell him, if we look at it from a perspective of a lesson, it's better than looking at it as a mistake. Because that's how he was looking at it at the beginning.
100%.
He was looking at it, oh my God, I made the worst mistake. What was I thinking? I am a hack. I don't know what I'm talking about. What am I doing here? And so I told him, hey. Number one, you didn't go to film school. This is your film school. This is the time to make mistakes. And if you learn something from it, it's no longer a mistake.
I agree so much. I so agree.
Yes. And so I told him, it's a lesson. Did you learn something from it? I asked him, and he said, oh, no, absolutely. How not to make a movie. How to not make a movie. And I said, then perfect. Then it's a lesson.
Exactly.
No longer look at it in a negative way, but embrace it, you know. But easier said than done. You know?
Yeah.
This is his dream, mind you.
Yep.
This is what he moved out here for. And so it's easy for me on the outside to say, it's fine.
Right.
We can do
Right.
it.
Chin up. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I just, you know, try to be there for him as much as possible. And I try to encourage him and motivate him. And it was around the time that he told you that he was working like late night shifts and whatnot. And I saw him so tired, and just broke my heart. And I decided, you know what? This is not what I want for my partner.
Yeah.
So I decided to take up a teaching job here in California.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I started teaching because I want to be there for my partner.
Yeah.
He needs help. I'm going to be there for him.
In LA?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I did, and I worked there for a year and a half. And then, and I get the job, COVID hits.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And so I get sent home because
Yeah.
obviously they're not sending any students to school, right? Everything is shut down,
Yeah.
And anyways, slowly but surely we come back, to school and whatnot. And once I came back, I was there for like a year and a half, almost two.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't for Eric, I would have.
Sorry for
No, you're
the
you're good.
mics.
You're good. You're good. Um, if it weren't for Eric, I would have, I guess, stayed there. But he called me out, like he said on the podcast. We call each other out all the time. And
Yeah.
that's why I feel like we work well together. He called me out and he said, "Well, didn't you move out here to be an actor? What are you doing?"
Mm, mm,
And I said, "Well, I went back to what I know,
yeah.
you know." And he's like, "Nah, nah. You moved out here because you wanted to be an actor. Then do it.
Hell
Now is
yeah.
the time."
Yeah.
And I was scared shitless. And so, in the middle of it all, I find Gannon Performance Studio, on an online coach and mentor to
Okay.
this day. He teaches more of the Meisner technique.
Okay.
And so he got me back into acting, and I went back into it. I took classes online and everything. This is, mind you, while the lockdown is happening,
Sure.
and we're still, coming back to it.
Wild
Whatever.
times.
Wild times, correct? Oh my gosh! And then Eric's over here whispering to talk about
We're
something.
getting cue cards over here from Eric.
Exactly. He wants me to tell a story about, because it wasn't just him that I found online as an acting coach. It was several others, but I just didn't. I didn't guess. I guess I didn't like their way of teaching as much as I like Scotty's.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so he's great. Scotty to this day is my mentor, and I love him. He's amazing. He showed me how to be a good listener when I'm performing. He showed me how to discover things, to be present, to discover things as they're happening on stage instead of just sticking to one rigid,
Sure.
this is the script,
Right.
So I love him. And because of Scotty and Eric, I built up the courage to apply to Stella. And so I applied to Stella.
Stella
Yay! Stella Adler, Academy of Acting and Theater. And I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing, an amazing experience. It still is, because I still have classes that I'm still taking. I haven't graduated. Every teacher, director, everybody there is amazing and great. And what I learned there was about imagination work.
Yeah.
And that just blew my mind. That just blew my mind. I fell in love with it all over again. I fell in love with like performing on stage.
Yeah.
And
And you're such a good actor, dude. Like,
Thank you.
it's shout out to Eric and Scotty and everybody who pushed you along, because I know you've pushed Eric too. Like, you guys are such a rock solid couple. That's so. I mean, and I'm so happy that you guys have encouraged each other to do what you're doing in your both prospective fields, because you guys are both great at what you do. And you guys are so lucky to have that relationship with each other.
Thank you so much. Like I said in the beginning, I just thought, I want to tell him everything that I wish someone told me.
That's so powerful. Yeah.
And in doing so, I was blessed enough to have him repeat it to me, and that was beautiful. And thank you.
Dude, seriously, and that's you really are. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So you find Stella.
Yeah.
And did you go in always part-time? Were you full-time ever? Were you part-time from day one?
I was full-time in the beginning, and I felt so lucky, dude. The minute, I don't know if that's how you felt too, and I bet it was, but the minute I walked in through those doors, I was like, oh my God, I'm in LA.
Yeah.
And I'm learning about acting, and the greats have walked through these same halls as I have.
Yep. I felt that same way too. I was like, oh, it's go time now.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
It is go time.
Yes.
Like walking through Hogwarts.
Yes, exactly. Oh my
trying
gosh,
to learn some magic here, dude. Like,
yes, dude. Oh my gosh, yes. It was amazing. It was a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, hot words.
No, I thought that, dude. From day one, I was like, all right, I'm going to learn this spell. I'm going to learn this spell. I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to do that.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. Yes. So much so that I even asked Laura Leva if I could record her class because I was in love with everything she said. Every single thing that she said, I would write down.
Did she let you record?
No,
Yeah,
no,
I was
no.
going to say,
Yeah. No, she told me, no, I really don't like that. I'm like, I respect that.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just my pen doesn't move as fast as you speak.
Can I hire someone to take notes
Exactly.
for me while I listen? No, I know it is hard to jot everything down and absorb. You can't. It's really difficult.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult.
My notes from Tech 1 are like here and there because the whole time I'm trying to like process what's going on, and it's like I may as well just like drawing pictures in my notes, like because I look back at it and I'm like, breathe.
What was that?
Listen. Spend time in nature, just like little blurbs like that, you know, because like the whole time I'm like,
slow down.
I can't do both.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I can't do.
Plug in.
Yeah, plugging in anytime. I love Laura. I love her so much.
Amazing. Here's a cheers for Laura Leva.
Cheers for her. Amazing teacher. Amazing coach, mentor, director.
Yeah.
I love her. I love everything she does. And I don't know about you, but you just feel mesmerized the minute she starts talking.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
Her presence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
yes.
strong.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And knowing that she is Mexican American, to me.
I didn't actually even know that.
Yeah. To me that was big.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like more respect, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even more respect. Not that I didn't already have it for her, but even more. Like I looked up to her even more than you know. I could just look at her and know, oh my gosh, she's an amazing person. Period. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, and she has a lot of knowledge too.
Oh my
God.
Yeah.
She's so knowledgeable. I could just be quiet and listen to her forever.
Yeah. And I remember Laura, like, the first thing I remember her sinking in for me is that she was like, this isn't necessarily going to be, you can't study this like you do academically, you do with like a social studies class or like a math class. She's like, it's gonna be so different, and I didn't really understand much at the beginning when I started, but I knew it was gonna be serious. Like the first 2 weeks I got out here, it was just a total whirlwind. I hadn't figured out living situation. I figured out my living situation in Technique 1 because I met Jeff, who happened, his roommate was moving out, and he was like, hey, do you still need a place to stay?
Nice.
I was like, yes. But the first 2 weeks was just a whirlwind. I was in a bunch of different places, and I was late one time to Tech 1. And she did the thing. You have to get up and tell everybody why you're late. And the class has to like justify if this is a word. And at that point I was like, oh, this is like some Whiplash, like the movie Whiplash. I was like, oh, this isn't like daycare.
No.
This is like a serious acting, like you gotta take your stuff serious because I'll never forget that. And at that moment I was like, okay, I'm going all out for this thing. Like if you're gonna take it this seriously, I'm gonna take it this seriously.
Absolutely.
Like
1000%.
Like I'll give it, you know.
Oh yeah.
And at that point I was like, okay, let's go.
Oh, absolutely. And I have an actual funny anecdote about me meeting her for the first time. I was auditing her class. And as I walk in, she looks me up and down. And she's like, why are you here? Dude, and I tell her, oh, because I want to learn and I want to become a better actor. Have you done anything? And I tell her, well, yeah, actually, the First time I was on stage, I was 7. Oh, child actor. I love her.
Yeah. I can just picture this. Like, I can picture this as clear. I can picture her
Yeah.
saying this. I
Yeah.
can picture her tone.
Yeah.
Her, like,
Yeah.
you're,
She
like,
called me out.
shaking in your boots.
Absolutely. I was shaking. It's like, dang, that's how it's going to go. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, what was I expecting? Someone to clap?
Yeah,
No.
right,
You know, like,
right.
of course. And I just went in silently. You know, I was part of the audit. You know, great. Loved her class and everything. And then I signed up for the class, and it was just groundbreaking. And like you said, most of the stuff we don't understand.
Yeah.
We don't know what you know she's talking about and what not, but we listen.
Yeah.
And we write and we take notes and we say yes, ma'am.
Yep.
You know.
I would love to retake Tech 1.
Absolutely.
Because for the listeners, at Stella Adler, the introductory course is Technique 1, taught by the lovely Laura Leva, who we're talking about. And it's a wonderful, just a really wonderful class. And the reason I say I would love to retake it is because at the time, you know, when I first started, I really didn't understand much until pretty much the tail end of the class. And that first like 7 weeks, I'm in there and I'm invested and I'm like giving it everything I have, but I don't stuff isn't clicking really yet. Like, I feel like if you were to retake it after, you know, a couple of years, I would imagine that it would be wonderful to go into that class with less figuring out.
Absolutely.
At the beginning, like.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
I messed up with. Oh, sorry for listeners. Okay, I think that should be good. I messed up with Laura initially, because when I introduced myself, I said, "Hi, my name is Zach King, and I'm gonna be famous." There was 2 people in the class who were like, "Hell yeah," and everyone else was like. I really said that. Like, it's like, my name is Zach King. I'm gonna be famous, and she was like, "Okay." But then I had to sort of start with like try to like reshape my. You can't really do first impressions like over again. You know what I mean? I just went in like, yeah, here I am, like thinking my shit doesn't stink. Like
I said that.
But then I was like, boy, do I have some learning to do.
You should have been like, psych.
Boy, do I know nothing. I think I know stuff, and boy, I don't.
You became a philosopher.
Yeah,
I know that I know nothing.
I know nothing, and I still don't. But
neither,
wonderful class. I mean, God.
Yeah.
Tech 1 is
absolutely.
like Jedi level.
Yeah.
Thinking back on it, it's like, oof. Yeah.
Yeah. You almost feel like you weren't even ready for that class.
Oh no,
right?
No way, because
exactly.
It changes. It like the objective is to like change how you think and like change how you operate and change how you see things. Which at the beginning you're like, oh, I'm gonna go into this class and I'm gonna learn like how to like memorize a line or like how to stand correctly and it's like, oh no, you're gonna rewire your brain.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear things differently.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
So good.
I feel like the one that really hit home was when she said, you guys want to get to the words mean nothing. And I wrote that down in my notebook like 3 times because I was like,
nothing.
Words mean nothing. Words mean nothing. Words mean. And I remember at that time I thought, what do you mean words mean nothing? They mean everything. I mean, you get more screen time.
Yeah.
You know, or on stage people look at you.
Right.
It's not about that.
Right.
But it's not about that.
Right.
And at that point in time, I didn't know any of this.
No.
I was just the math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yep.
Like, I'm not understanding.
Yep.
But I wrote it down like it was the law.
Yeah.
You know, like the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
Okay. Words mean nothing, even though I had no clue what I was writing.
Yeah.
later on I find out this is what
Right.
she meant.
There's so many moments in step one
Yes.
later on where you're like, so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
There's so many moments later on where you're like, oh,
Yes.
that is what's going on.
Uh-huh.
The doing one thing at one time thing didn't hit for me until later.
Yeah.
Like for the listeners, there's this practice that she would have us do of like, like if you're walking to school, you're not listening to music. You're not looking at your phone. You're going to school. If you are looking at your phone, you're not looking at your computer also, or your TV is not. You're doing. There was all these things that she would have us do, like these exercises to take home. Like you're doing this one thing, and then it wasn't until like a year later it's like, oh, it's because like when you're on stage, you have to be doing this one thing completely. That's all you have to be. Whatever you're doing it 100% completely.
Yep.
And then you move on to something else that you're doing 100%. I didn't get that until like a year in to Stella. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, no. And we don't.
Yeah.
We don't get it. And I feel like that's the main reason as to why we feel like retaking that class.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a beautiful blessing, I guess, when we go back and take script breakdown with her.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yep.
It's
Script breakdown is great.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, she got mad at us. She's like, "You guys forgot everything I taught you."
Yeah.
And I went back to my notebook. I'm like, "She's right.
Yeah.
Okay, what did I forget?" You know?
Yeah.
But she keeps you on your toes, and I feel like that is very important. I also feel like if as an actor you feel comfortable, then you're doing something wrong. I feel like we shouldn't feel comfortable. And that's just my opinion. I mean, I could be full of shit, for all I know. But at least in my experience, I feel like if I feel like I've got it, then there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like I always feel like I could go deeper. I feel like I could go, I could study the character more. I feel like I could discover new things. And that's why I love rehearsing.
Yeah.
In rehearsal, I feel like that's where I discover a lot. And even once we're on stage or filming, there's other things, left to discover.
Yeah.
And that's when what she said clicked in, which is make sure you walk out of your apartment or your house and notice something different every single time.
Mm-hmm.
It clicked.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she meant.
Yeah.
Oh, every single time I'm on stage, whether it's rehearsing or whether it's me putting up a show or whether it's me being, in front of the camera, it's me finding something new.
Yeah. Totally.
And we love her.
Yeah,
shout out to her.
There's so many lessons from that very introductory class. There are so many takeaways.
Oh, absolutely. That's where I discovered that I needed imagination.
Yeah.
I needed imagination to build a character, to build these experiences that I haven't lived.
Yeah.
When she says, you're going to go to Hawaii.
Right.
What are the reasons as to why you go to Hawaii?
Right.
She walked me through that.
Yeah.
When I went up and I said my circumstances, and she helped me build it block by block.
Yeah.
She helped me build that story, that imagination, to the point that it was so true that I was in tears by the end of it. And she's like, pack your bags, you're ready to go. And it wasn't because of the tears, because that's where people, I feel like I tend to sometimes misunderstand something. It wasn't about the tears. It was the fact that it became real to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I just don't like it when people see me cry. I hate that. I just hate it. I feel like it's a sign of weakness. That's how I was brought up. As a Mexican American, tears is a sign of weakness. You should never show your feelings. You should be a rock. Nothing will hurt you. Nothing will break you. You're a rock.
Yeah.
And so to me, tears in a class,
right?
What the hell?
People watching,
what do you mean? I was covering my face.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want people to see me. I was literally covering my face. Like, no.
Yeah.
This is not for you guys.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. It was a learning experience for me.
Yeah.
It was me learning and connecting the dots. Oh shit. I need to build.
Yeah, connect to the circumstance.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Right.
How can I make it real to me,
Right.
Elizabeth?
Right.
Right?
Because you can't fake being genuine.
No.
Like, you can see through that shit a mile away.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're fakey with it. But if you're really experiencing something, dude, that's when you get gold. That's when whether it's on stage or on camera, when you are experiencing it yourself, that's when you're like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
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 You're not just like up there reading a line.
Exactly.
Or like going through the motions.
Exactly.
Or, you know?
No. And I feel like that's great because then after her class, it's Tech 2 with Tim McNeil.
Shout out to Tim McNeil.
Shout out, Tim. I love you.
Love you, Tim.
Amazing, also. Amazing class. Also, he called me out within the first week. I love him.
Yeah.
He had us, do an exercise. And you walk into a room for the first time, right? And I don't know how many years. And so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And something bad has happened,
yes.
right? Yes.
And I mean, that's the first homework assignment, right? And I went home and I, did the work as best as I could. And I thought, right? And I show up to the class the next day and then this amazing actress goes up. She's amazing. And shout out to Ana Rosa.
Oh, yeah, she's great. Shout out to Ana Rosa. She is really good.
She is. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And she goes up, right? And after her, I'm like, fuck no, I have to go home.
How do I follow this?
How do I follow this? I can't,
right.
I'm like, okay, great. She showed me what I need to work on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
Then I have to go home and work on this, and that's okay. She is an alumnus, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's my second class, right? My second term, because I was going full time. And so I'm like, oh shit, I have a lot of work to do. She was great. She killed it. Amazing work. Guess what happens? Tim turns to me. He's like, okay, Elizabeth, you're up. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to fucking die.
Yeah.
I wanted to die. And he looks at me, and my face, you can just see pure shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm scared shitless. At that point, I'm like,
yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Okay.
I beg your pardon? And he's like, unless you're not prepared. Are you not? Did you not do your homework? Fuck, dude.
Are you rushing or dragging, like the movie Whiplash? Are you rushing?
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I did my homework.
Yeah.
I did my homework, but could I just go real quick to take a pee? I need to pee because I get nervous, and I have to go pee. Some people need to go to the restroom. Some people need to go do some push-ups.
Yeah.
I need to pee, So he laughs and he's like, yeah, buddy, go ahead. And so I go to the restroom and I do that whole bullshit talk in the mirror. You got this.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Nothing like the self-hype up in the bathroom here.
Exactly.
You can do this.
Exactly.
You can do this. You can do this.
You can. You really can. And I just went back into class and I did it. I fucking did it. I mean, I can fucking tell you that I did it. I went up, I did my scene, and he loved it.
Wow.
There we go.
Cheers for that.
Yeah. I guess the pee helped.
Yeah.
But
that's your process.
Yeah, that's my process. Yeah, no, it was just great. It was amazing. And then he wanted me to walk him through what I had done and what was in my mind and whatnot. And it was just great. But I love him for that because each teacher pushes you to be your best. It doesn't matter where you are in the process. Like in this case, it doesn't matter. An amazing actor just went up. You go do you.
Right.
Go do you. Go do your work. Your work. Because nobody can do your work.
Exactly.
Right? And I loved him. Love you, Tim.
Love you, Tim. Shout out to Tim one more time. So, when at this point in your career and your student career at Stella,
Mm.
this is post night drive night
Night
run,
Run,
excuse
Night
me,
Run,
and
which I called Nightmare. Don't worry. It's an inside joke.
So the movie's wrapped at this point.
Oh yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like how long after that?
Oh, it was like 3 years, 2 years
Okay,
after.
okay, so it's
Yeah.
years after, and
Yeah.
and now you're at Stella.
Yeah,
Okay, I was
I'm at
just
Stella.
clarifying
Eric.
timeline wise.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Okay.
okay. And Eric is still editing.
Okay.
At this point, Eric is still editing that.
Okay.
I mean, all I can tell him is try your best,
Right.
do your shit. It won't be a feature. It could be a short.
Yeah.
I know that's not what we want, but you work with what you have, and this is
Right.
what you have, and we can't afford to reshoot. We're not gonna spend more money in it. We already maxed out our credit cards. Like, there's no way. That's it. Period. Done. The actors have moved on also. Like, there's no way we can
Yeah.
ask that of them.
Yeah.
3 years later, hey, you want to reshoot?
Right. And
Like,
you guys
come
filmed
on.
in Texas, right?
Yeah.
So,
We
right.
shot in Texas and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's the timeline. And yeah, at this point, I see Eric still, trying to edit and still working through, the downs of this is not what I wanted. And I find out that there's going to be this horror convention in December, and his birthday is coming up. Eric's birthday is coming up. And I find that one of the directors that he looks up to is going to be there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, perfect opportunity. If Eric is not going to listen to me, maybe he'll listen to this guy, right? And so I get him tickets. It's a surprise. I finally tell him, hey, I got you tickets.
Yeah.
We're going to this. And it was within my first year of Stella.
Okay.
So I go into Stella in October.
Okay.
And so it was around that time. That's why I brought it up. And we go to the convention. And I mean, I can tell you that when I meet an actor, I choke.
Like, you nervous? Like,
I get super nervous. Oh, absolutely. Super nervous. Because I'm used to seeing them on a screen.
Yeah.
They don't look at you.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you're there in front of them.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be looking at me.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to you being on the screen. What the fuck, right? Anyway, so I choke meeting Mike Flanagan's wife, Kate, Siegel.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric is trying to, talk. For me, he's like, she's also an actor. And I'm like, shut up. Shut up. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just going to school. I get to meet Henry Thomas.
Wow.
Dude, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
At this horror
convention, yeah. It's called, I think, Screamfest. And anyways, I'm just like looking up to these actors and I'm like blown away. I'm like,
Yeah.
I forget my name and everything, right? The reason I'm bringing it up is because the minute we went to meet Mike Flanagan, Eric is the one that chokes.
Come full circle.
Full circle
Right,
there. And so I get to talk to Mike Flanagan and I tell him, hey, we're here because my husband is also an editor and he also wants to be a director. And we actually shot a movie. It turns out it has to be a short rather than a feature. Finally, Eric gets, his bearings back in order and he's like, yes, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric.
Shout out, Eric.
And then Mike Flanagan tells him, you know what? You gotta just edit it. Make it happen. Put it out there. And then move on to your next one. Then move on to your next one. You won't be able to move on to your next project if you don't finish this one. Finish it. Finish it. Do whatever you need to do with it. And then move on. And Eric's like, that's exactly what my wife has said all these years.
Funny enough.
Funny enough. And he's like, well, then, she knows something.
Yeah.
And then he points that to his wife, and his wife comes over, and he's like, yeah, just listen to them.
Yeah.
They know what they're talking about, which we don't, by the way. We don't know what we're talking about. We hope for the best,
That's funny.
Anyways, but yeah, so that's how he got motivated to finish it, and I was so happy that he did.
Yeah.
Because as I was taking classes. Sorry.
No, you're good. That's me. I keep bumping my mic. Should be good. Yeah, there we go. I keep just nudging it, and I'm like,
No
don't
worries.
move. Don't move a muscle. Don't move a muscle. Don't move a muscle. Eventually, I'll get new mics.
No worries. And as I was moving through the program, because I was full-time, which is a lot of work.
Oh, my God. The full-timers.
Dude.
I was full-time the first term I got there because when I started at Stella, I didn't really know what was what. And I started at Stella the second day I moved to LA. And I didn't know. I just thought that's what you do. But then I was like, oh wait, I'm here from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Like I didn't know that it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that serious. Like consuming.
Yeah.
And after that first term, I've only just done part-time after that first term because it's like wow.
It's a lot. The first year I did do full-time, and I didn't see Eric.
Yeah.
Till like the weekends, and even during the weekends I was working. I was working on whatever new script we were working on, breaking down or studying how it is.
Yeah, there's so much work you take with you. Like it's not just it's not just showing up to like there's so much you have to prepare outside. Like it's
the bare minimum to show up.
I mean, and I didn't realize until I started there. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is the full-time program, huh?
Yeah.
Like this is like they weren't lying.
Yeah. So my hat goes off to all the international students who do full-time. Like they're amazing.
It's a grind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially towards the end when they're doing like 2 plays.
Oh, absolutely. Dude. What? That's insanity.
Come
it's
on.
insanity.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But you have to love it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing that, you have to love it.
I told that to Alicia for our listeners. Alicia was on a few months ago, and she was international full-time student. And I remember talking to her somewhere about maybe a year and a half in. She had about a half a year to go, where it's like they've been just grinding, and I was like, this is easy for me to say because I'm only doing one class at a time. But like going forward, I'm like, once you're done with this program, doing a bajillion things at once, once you're out in the world and you're working as an actor, and you like, if you have the opportunity to just be doing one thing at a time, you're gonna think this is just an absolute layup.
Yeah.
Like you juggle like 5 things at a time when you're at Stella, and then if you can get out into the real world and you get a job, and that's just what you're doing, you're gonna think it's like training with ankle weights on and then taking the ankle weights off after. You feel like you can just sprint everywhere. Like,
you soar, you fly.
But again, I know that's easy for me to say. Like I was only taking one class at a time. Like I realized, I'm like, hey, everything's gonna be fine, man. You
got this.
Have you tried not worrying about it? Like,
be more
I'm sitting here doing like 1 day a week. Like,
have you tried meditating?
Yeah. Have you just tried chilling? Like, has that ever crossed your mind?
You've got this.
Right. I just felt like such a load of crap coming from this guy.
No, I look up to them. I mean,
Yeah.
they're amazing. It's the fact that they are able to juggle all that. Shout
It's
out to
impressive.
them.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's impressive.
absolutely.
It's because acting in general, I think it's impressive because when like it's hard enough to just focus on one character in one project. So like when you're pulled in like 4 or 5 different directions at this, like within the same time frame, like on Monday I have to be this character, but on
Mm.
Tuesday I have to do this completely. Like in terms of just being pulled in all these different directions is really tough
Yeah.
as an actor.
Oh, absolutely.
It's tough enough to just do one thing.
It's tough enough to
It's
just do
tough
one
enough.
class.
Yeah, it really is.
Dude.
It's tough. It's tough enough to make yourself one other person, let
Mm.
alone five other
Mm.
people. It's like, geez, give me a break. But shout out to them.
Shout out to them. We
yeah,
love you guys.
we love you guys, all the international students.
Yep. Yeah, I admire them so much for all their dedication. I couldn't do the full time. I had to. That's when I had to stop after the first year.
Yeah.
First year and a half, I stopped doing
Wow, it's
the
still good
full-time.
on you though. It's a long time
Mm.
to be in the full time program.
Mm.
How many classes do you have left? Is your goal to graduate or no? Just to keep like taking classes here and there?
I love the fact that I can always go back and take a class.
Exactly. Same.
I love that.
Same.
And I want to continue to do that
Yeah.
as I'm still working,
Yeah.
because that's the whole point.
Right.
I used to think that maybe I should wait till I graduate, and so that's a conversation I had with Laura Leva, where I told her, I'm getting all these auditions, but maybe I shouldn't audition for that. Maybe I should just, focus in school. And she said, no, this is why you're coming to school, to get auditions.
Yeah.
Go do them, and if you get them, and so that was my concern. I was like, hey, but what if I get a job in the middle of it? Like, how am I supposed to juggle those? No, the school is so flexible. They'll work around your schedule.
Yeah.
And if it interferes with your classes,
Retake it.
they'll be like, don't worry about it, you can come back and take it next term.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's good. It's good always. Like I had a bunch of people in my Technique 2 class that were working actors, that had come back to retake this class sometimes 2 or 3 times. Because it's not like you can acting. You could spend a lifetime studying acting and not know everything. And this is only the Adler technique. I mean, there's how many techniques are there? And so I think it is really important going forward. That was a lesson I learned there. I was like, oh wow, these people are like working actors actually. Like these people, this is their career. Like this is their profession. And they're coming back and retaking just to keep the skills sharp, learn something new the second time around, the third time around, maybe. That's when I knew. I was like, oh, this place is legit, man.
Yeah.
Like, Stella's legit.
Yeah, they have working actors.
Right. That's, and, anyway, continue.
No, yeah, absolutely. And so after I had that conversation with her, where she was like, no, this is the whole reason as to why you're coming to school, so you can get jobs.
Yeah.
Continue to do that.
Right. It's like a vocational trade, realistically.
Yes. And so I voiced my, fears and concerns. I was like, but what if I'm not ready? What if I'm barely in this part of the program, like, I don't think I'm ready.
Yeah.
And she's like, honey, just do it. You can get any of us to be your mentor.
Yeah.
This is the whole point.
Yeah.
Do it. And so, it was beautiful, that moment that I had with her. Just amazing. And so I followed her advice, and if you talk to anybody, if you talk to John Jack, shout out to John Jack.
Shout out to John Jack. Shout out to John Jack.
Yeah, I love him.
He's the man.
Oh, I love him.
What a good guy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He's the one that did my interview, actually. Funny thing. Yeah, he's the one that did my interview. He's amazing. Every single time, I have a question or doubt about whether or not I should, take a job, take a gig, take this risk, I go up to him and I'm like, hey, JJ, what do you think?
Yeah.
Is it a good idea?
Yeah.
Am I talking out of my ass?
Right.
And he's so supportive.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, I bet you, if you go up to anybody else, I've had the honor to have class with Christopher Thornton.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris.
Oh my God, Chris
I love Chris.
I adore Chris.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love him.
I'm taking this next term. I'm taking audition skills with Chris.
Nice.
Okay, I'm really
He's
excited.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I really look up to him.
Same.
Wow. He's a working actor.
Yeah.
like all of our teachers.
He works. Like everything I've seen him in too, he crushes. Like he's a good, and I'm not even saying that like I'm surprised, like because I've heard all the like lore about Chris and stuff when he was coming through Stella Adler, and he came up with like Mark Ruffalo and like Benicio del Toro and that group, and like he was this is I've heard this from multiple people, but like when they were going through school before Chris had his accident, everyone was like, this guy is the guy. He's the guy. And when you see him act, you're like, no, he is legit. Like he is a wonderful actor.
He is an amazing actor. He's an amazing director.
Yeah.
Teacher. I mean, I had the blessing of having him for my beginner scene study, intermediate scene study, and he was so kind and so smart and diligent in the way like he picks the place for you.
Yeah, he's great at casting. He's great at
oh my God.
He's just a wonderful.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know if I've ever seen anyone have a better memory than him.
Any
absolutely. Play, he can go word for word.
Word perfect.
I'm like, dude, I can't even remember 2 pages
yes,
ago.
Yes.
And that's the example, I think, where it's like not only talking the talk but walking the walk.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I did intro to scene study, and he's like, I don't even want you guys messing up a that instead of a the, or a there instead of a that, or whatever. And I'm like, dude, that's a crazy standard. But then you can ask him, what's this line? And he'll just off the dome.
Dude, he knows it.
And I'm like, okay, he's not just talking. He's walking the walk. Like he's not doing anything he wouldn't expect from himself. And that's where I was like, all right, I'll run through a wall for this dude. Like,
and he's also very kind about it.
Yeah.
Because I remember that he was like, should we check the script? Like he didn't even say like, that's wrong, Liz. That's not the right word. No, he was kind enough to say, let's check the script.
Yeah. As if he isn't right.
Right. As if he isn't right.
Yeah.
He knows he's right.
Yeah.
He could literally call me out and be like, Liz, you're wrong. That's not the right wording. Like you said, it's not a that, it's a there or whatever.
Yeah.
And he still like indulges you and goes and waits for you to look at your script, and you're like, oh fuck, that was not the right word.
Yeah. No, I mean, and he just shout out Chris, just a wonderful human and a wonderful teacher and a freaking powerhouse of an actor.
Oh, absolutely,
powerhouse actor.
Absolutely. I have a cool anecdote in one of his classes. He was so kind that I was doing a scene with Benny Latona. Shout out Benny.
Shout out Benny. A lot of applause in this episode.
I know, right?
The crowd is just loving the name drops here. Shout out Benny.
Yes. We were doing a scene from Bug, and so Chris had already given us our notes and whatnot, and he's like resetting. Reset, you guys, reset. Anyways, and so mind you, Advanced Scene Study was doing another scene, like a scene from Bug as well, but it was another scene, but still. So that's like a lot of pressure. That was our beginner scene study.
Yeah.
Benny's and I. And so anyway, so we reset. And so as we're resetting, I'm supposed to start off in the bed, and Benny is outside in like the little hallway, and between B and C.
Yep.
Guess who walks in through the doors?
Huh.
Guess. Mark Ruffalo.
Wow. I was gonna. While you guys were about to perform?
As we were about to perform.
Yeah. No pressure.
No pressure. And so I grew up watching 13 Going on 30.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Classic.
And so I literally just I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so I wave
Here's
at
the
him.
Hulk.
Yes, exactly. Here's the Hulk. What is he doing in my class?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah. And I just like wave like an idiot.
Yeah.
From, on stage. I'm like,
Yeah. Hi, Mark.
Right? I don't say anything. I just wave like an idiot. Because remember, I choke, right? And so Chris was so kind to then say my name. And Chris is like, Elizabeth, just make sure that for this next part you do blah, blah. Mind you, he was done already with his notes. But he saw who walked in and he just wanted to say my name out loud. How can I not love Chris?
Right.
You
What
know,
a
dude?
guy.
Come on. Anyways, and so I just think, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
That's like my mantra. Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. The Hulk is out there. Don't fuck this up.
Yeah, literally the Hulk.
Fuck, oh my God. The guy that took classes in this same building is sitting right there watching me about to perform. Like, don't fuck this up. Don't be an idiot. Anyways, we perform. We do the whole scene wherever we had it, And he was so kind. He was so nice. He goes up to us and he shakes my hand and he says something. I have no clue what he's saying because I'm
it's
like,
a blur, yeah.
I'm in cloud 9
Yeah.
at this point. I'm like, he's touching my hand.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, listen. I just there's blank there.
Yep.
Nothing is up there. He's moving his lips. He's saying something. I have no clue what he's saying.
Yep.
Right. And I just nod. And then Chris just, he like bumps him and he's like, hey, elbows him. He's like, hey, let me give them their notes first before you say hi or whatever, And so, anyways, Chris gives us our notes and he's still there. Mark is still there. He has a conversation with Benny and I, with Chris. And then I'm like, okay, this is great. This is amazing. I need to know what he said. I'm not going to be able to die happy knowing what he did or did not say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
He's already here. I was already an idiot. Let me just fucking say something to the guy. And so I tell him, hi, I have no clue what you said. And he chuckles and he's so kind. And he's like, oh, I just said you did a great job up there. Great job.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I remember driving back home and calling Eric and telling him, I can die now.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm
For
fine.
real.
I mean,
Get a compliment
it's fine.
from Mark
Ruffalo.
Ruffalo.
A great compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's perfect. He made my day,
Wow.
my month, my year. Amazing. Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him for real.
Yeah.
Getting a compliment.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, he's so kind.
Well, no, because of you, dude. You're great. That doesn't surprise. But he is very kind. I met him. I've met him a few times since being at Stella, and one was him getting his star. Were you there that day?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. That was great. That was awesome.
Amazing.
But he came into our Technique 2 class, and Tim was his best man in their wedding, or is it vice versa? Maybe Mark was best man to Tim. I don't know. They're solid, and I had just put on this ridiculous looking makeup, like clown makeup, basically, like rosy red cheeks and something on my nose, and but it wasn't as drastic as a clown. The reason I'm saying this is because I was the only one in this class that had anything weird on my face, and in comes Mark Ruffalo, and I have this ridiculous stuff on my face, and we took a picture, and in the picture the makeup isn't like bright enough where you're like, oh, this guy has like clown makeup on. It's just enough where you're like, this guy's face looks super weird. And in the picture, like my cheeks are all like red and like it, but it's not drastic enough to be like, oh, obviously this guy's like doing something. It's like, oh no, this guy has a weird looking face. That's like, and I'm like the one picture I have with Mark. I just have this. I don't even remember what we were doing. It may have been. I don't even remember what exercise we were doing. But it's like, of course, the one time I meet Mark, I have like. Anyway.
At least you have a picture. Hey.
Yeah, at least we have a picture.
Yeah.
So I want to jump to.
Yeah.
But as we're taking classes at Stella,
Mm-hmm.
now you start working,
Mm-hmm.
and you are in Clean Slate. You're in Last Story, and I want to talk about those two things
Mm-hmm.
as your process as an actor in
Mm-hmm.
those experiences, and then I want to talk about your directorial debut. But let's first talk about, so you've taken classes at Stella.
Mm-hmm.
You got your legs underneath you a little bit. You know, process wise what you need to do a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. You know what works for you. You're still figuring things out.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're actually in a movie. Now you're actually in a short.
Mm-hmm.
So walk me through what when you're in front of a camera. Walk me through how it feels, what you take with you from school, how it's different from being on stage. I love to pick up actors' brains about
Yeah,
that.
no, absolutely.
So let's say it's the first day,
Mm.
clean slate.
Mm.
Tell me what's going through your head, how you prep, what now, because again, I hate to use the like Hogwarts wizard metaphor, but it's like, all right, I know a few spells now, you know what I mean?
What can I use?
Right, I can, now
Leviosa.
right, now I'm in the real world. I can, that's how I felt about crying. It's like, all right, I can do the cry spell. I can do but anyway, so okay, go. You're on set. You're not in school anymore. You're on set.
Okay. So for Clean Slate, I helped out in the casting, producing side of it, and assistant directed it.
Okay.
And so for Clean Slate, I had the privilege to have a class with Hunter Carey. Shout out to Hunter.
Shout out to Hunter. Hunter Carey, shout out.
We love you, Hunter.
The crowd is going crazy in this episode. There's been so much crowd activity.
So many shout outs.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't be here without them. That's for sure.
For sure.
And so I was taking a class with Hunter, and it was a class with Rick, which was script analysis. And the first time I see the guy on stage, I'm just blown away. I see the guy, he's doing a scene from A Streetcar Named Desire. He's playing Stanley. And I'm blown away. And when I tell you blown away, I'm just blown away. I'm like, oh my God. Amazing work.
Yeah.
Amazing fucking work. And so I go up to him after his scene and I'm like, bro, that was amazing. You did a fantastic job. I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait. Great fucking job. Sorry guys for all the F words.
No, this is not the
F-bombs.
Tonight Show. This show is expletives and it's all good.
Yeah, and so right about the time that I was doing Bug, which I was talking about with Benny, Eric feels so inspired by my scene with Benny that he says, you know what, I want to film this. Can I film this? I'm like, absolutely, I'm so down. So I tell Benny about it. I'm like, hey, would you like, are you down for it? Eric, my husband, wants to film it. What do you think? Anyways, at that time, the reason I bring this up is because at that time I'm already friends with Hunter. So I asked Hunter if he could be, our boom mic operator.